When your cat stays unusually close to your child during overwhelming moments, do you actually know what that means? Most people think it's just coincidence, or that your cat simply likes being nearby. But behind that quiet presence, there's something deeper that most people miss. It's one of the most emotionally loaded things your cat can do. And if you ignore it, which most people do, you might miss one of the most profound ways your cat is trying to help your family. Let's start with what that behavior really means. First, it's not random comfort, it's pattern recognition. Have you ever noticed your cat showing up right before your child becomes overwhelmed? Most people assume the cat is reacting to the moment itself, but here's what's actually happening. Your cat is recognizing patterns long before humans do. Cats are highly sensitive to micro changes in body language, breathing, and movement. Subtle shifts your child may not even be aware of yet. So your cat doesn't wait for the emotional moment, they anticipate it. And by the way, if your cat ever seems to predict your child's emotional state before it happens, don't brush it off. We'll come back to what that really means later, and it's something most people wish they understood sooner. Think about that for a second. This isn't reaction, it's awareness. And what this reveals is that your cat isn't just sharing space with your child, they're actively tracking them. Now, here's where the science gets interesting. A 2019 study from the University of Lincoln found that cats can distinguish between human emotional states based on tone, facial expression, and behavior. But here's what most people don't realize. It's not just recognition, it's response. Behavioral scientists have observed that when cats detect distress, especially in familiar individuals, they often shift their behavior, becoming calmer, slower, and more present. And in homes with autistic children, this effect becomes even more pronounced. Why? Because your child's emotional expressions may be more intense, more honest, and less masked. So your cat isn't confused by it, they're tuned into it. What makes this even more meaningful is that your cat is adjusting themselves, not expecting your child to adjust. That's not instinct alone, that's adaptation. Third, they're quietly marking your child as safe territory. Have you ever seen your cat rub against your child more often than others? Most people think it's affection, but here's what's actually happening. Cats have scent glands in their cheeks, forehead, and body. And when they rub against someone, they're transferring pheromones. They're marking. Not ownership in a controlling way, but familiarity, safety, family. So when your cat repeatedly rubs against your child, especially during or after emotional moments, they're doing something powerful. They're stabilizing that connection through scent. Think about that for a second. In the animal world, shared scent means shared identity. And your cat is saying, you belong in my safe world. What this reveals is that your child isn't just tolerated by your cat, they're being integrated into their emotional territory. And hey, if this makes sense to you, hit like and subscribe. It helps us reach more cat lovers who actually want to understand what their cat is really saying. Now ask yourself this, does your cat behave this way with every person in your home? Or is it different with your child? Most people don't notice this distinction, but here's what's actually happening. Cats are selective with emotional investment. They don't offer this level of attention to just anyone. Studies on domestic cats reveal that they form specific social bonds, often choosing one or two individuals they respond to most deeply. So if your cat consistently chooses your child during vulnerable moments, that's not coincidence, that's selection. Think about that for a second. Out of everyone in your home, your cat chose them. And what this reveals is that your cat doesn't just see your child as another human, they see them as someone worth responding to. And hey, if this makes sense to you, hit like and subscribe. It helps us reach more cat lovers who actually want to understand what their cat is really saying. 6. They're matching emotional states, not just observing them. Remember earlier when I said your cat might predict your child's emotional state? This is what I was talking about. Here's what most people never realize. Your cat isn't just noticing emotions, they're synchronizing with them. Animal cognition research shows that some animals adjust their internal state to match those they're bonded with, a form of emotional mirroring. So when your child becomes overwhelmed, your cat often becomes slower, quieter, more grounded. Not by accident, by alignment. Think about that. Your cat is regulating themselves to help regulate someone else. That's not passive presence, that's participation. And what this reveals is something deeper than comfort. It's connection at a physiological level. 7. When this behavior stops, it means something. Now, here's where most owners get it wrong. If your cat suddenly stops showing up, stops staying close, or withdraws from your child, most people assume the bond has faded. But here's what's actually happening. Cats withdraw when something feels off in the environment or within themselves. It could be stress, it could be illness, or it could mean they're overwhelmed too. Think about that for a second. Even the ones who give comfort can reach their limits. So if this behavior disappears, don't ignore it. Observe gently. Support both your child and your cat, because that silence is still communication. So when your cat quietly stays near your child during overwhelming moments, do you actually know what that means? It's not just presence, it's not just coincidence. It's your cat recognizing, adapting, marking, choosing, and even synchronizing with someone in a way that goes far beyond instinct. That's not simple behavior, that's connection. And that quiet moment when your cat sits beside your child without asking for anything in return, it was never small to them, and it shouldn't be small to you either.